Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with my...
Everything?
Good answer. That was the best answer I've heard yet. Along with my everything, and we're not talking about the bagel kind everything here. Jessica Lee. Wow, we just lost 5 people, 6 people. It is amazing how this works. But we're so glad to see everybody. We are going to have so much fun talking tonight about kindness, self-compassion, ways to crank up the inner warmth toward yourself and quiet down the negative voices of your mind, which is very important because it has been a beautiful but challenging summer here. Hasn't it been, Pookie? Challenging summer.
Is it my fault?
No comment on that one. But there have been a lot of things we've wanted to get done that we haven't been able to get done. They're just moving at kind of a slow pace.
But on the other hand, there have been many wonderful things that have happened that we didn't plan for.
Yes, which gets into tonight's topic. Had we held on with a death grip to everything, then nothing would have taken place, would it? I'm laughing because it has been a roller coaster because, well, let's look at the positives. We've graduated coaches. We're doing our best, struggling, but doing our best to get back into shape. But our ego my ego at least, has wanted to throw a hissy fit many times as things have gone much, much slower than we wanted. And at times, fear even comes up. Are we going to be able to do this? Are we going to be able to get this done? This, that, the other thing. It really is universe's way of slowing us down for our highest good, for the highest good of all. But it can feel incredibly uncomfortable. Or as I have in my notes, it hurts, doesn't it? When you're saying, I want to get this one thing, iMeditations, most beautiful program in the world. I believe over time, we will literally have the world's largest vault of meditations. And we're up to 40 or 50 meditations already, but we just haven't been able to birth the baby yet, have we?
No, but it has been less than 9 months.
This is a good thing. So it is still.
And you don't always want, I don't think you ever want a premature baby.
No, this is true. So it's gestating well. But the mind can go wiggly. And in my case, trying to push earlier this summer has caused me to be in a lot of back pain from sitting on this chair, so to speak, too much. And so pushing isn't the answer. But at these times when things aren't going the way that we want them to, or expect them to, or attached to, it's very easy to go to the dark side, isn't it?
Especially when you're in pain. Let's talk about that back pain.
Oh my God. It was a session with dear Jody. We'll leave her last name out, but it was with Jody 3 weeks ago. And I could tell it had been a very full week. And I had been getting tweaks and pains for 3 weeks earlier and saying to myself, well, what happens next if I don't take care of my back? What would be the next thing that takes place?
You asked that?
Yes.
You just put that question out into the universe?
No, I was...
Show me what happens.
No. I was thinking about that.
My back.
And so I was starting to do what I could. I was starting to do more stretching in the gym. I started doing a bunch of exercises. What you didn't even see is, this might have even been before that, in the bathroom, we have this 40-pound bag of kitty litter. And I started doing this every other day, lifting the bag of kitty litter, which would get lighter as the month would go on, to try to work to strengthen my back.
Is that why you wanted me to order more kitty litter before we were out?
No, I haven't.
Because they kind of take up a lot of space. So
I haven't done it in
bulk.
a few weeks. I don't even have any idea where to go with that. But no, I was starting to work on it, but I was concerned. There was a red flag in my head. But when that pain comes up, which 3 weeks ago went tweak, and sitting has been a pain, but even the standing desk hasn't worked out, hasn't been. Motion's great, running great, cycling a little bit less great, hiking after a couple hours, like I found today with bike riding. After a while, everything loosens up and it feels great. And so like we did a 4-hour hike on Saturday, and we actually climbed to the top of several 13,000 foot peaks. And by that point, I was feeling great. You're smirking. What is it you want to say?
Oh, I'm just reading the comments. Lori says, Michael looks like he's in a good mood. And she says, I look like I'm in a good mood too. A vast improvement from 6 hours ago.
So while I may not be the biggest fan of the acupuncturist that you've seen, and we're going to stay out of that, he did perform a miracle by going on you, right?
A little lower than that.
A little. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, though. Whoa. I'm not going there. I don't know where he went either, but the needles helped.
They did. Yeah, he was helping me release some trapped anger by opening up this area. So the needles went very close to private areas, but not in not where you were poking, basically.
Okay, then. But you do feel much better. And what I was saying is it's all too easy to go to the dark side, to get upset, to get angry, to be swearing up and down, not just at each other, but at the universe. This is something I used to do a lot. I don't do anymore. But I think, I don't know, probably in our earliest years of marriage together and before that, I would be swearing at God, so to speak. Why the freak are you doing this to me? Why am I your little, was it a Cupid doll or something? Whatever they put the...
Voodoo doll?
Why am I your voodoo doll? Why are you sticking the needles into me? What did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
And it'd be very easy to go to that place. But the trick is when you go to that place, now you've started a domino effect of one thing leads to the next, leads to the next.
That's true.
Because of the energetic state that you're in.
Yes.
And so what we really get...
And that's why in the middle of our argument, I left and you thought I was napping, but I was actually meditating. I was listening to a Dr. Joe guided meditation to bring myself out of that low vibration.
Very good. And I was
for
certainly...
your benefit.
I was certainly trying not to poke the pokey. In the past, I would have poked you and said, let's do this. And I was instead saying, you're like, why are you leaving the room? I'm like, I am not going there. And you're like, cornered? Who's cornered? I'm like, that's it. I'm not trying to corner you. I am out of here. Yeah. So I was doing everything I could to diffuse the bomb.
Yeah, you thought you were cornered and I thought I was cornered. So we just both went to our own corners.
Bing! And there's the bell. So we're going to talk more about this tonight. But first, 3 quick things. 1, our scheduling system for coaching has been completely overwhelmed. And it's going, help me. And so we thought we had it figured out last week. If you signed up for a session and we didn't get back in touch with you, please check your spam folder. If that didn't work, please try to sign up again. Our system got completely overwhelmed by people wanting free one-on-one sessions with me to see if coaching is right for you. We believe we have just gotten it figured out as of a few hours ago, though we are not certain of this. So if you do want coaching this fall, because I know last summer, I think it was mid-August, we filled for almost the rest of the year, then you need to get in and sign up for a free one-on-one strategy session right now. The URL, Jessica is putting it on. I believe it's inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Secondly, we have been trying like the Dickens. I don't even understand that expression. Like the Dickens.
Like who?
Well, is that Dickens the author?
Like Charles?
That's what I would think. Maybe Charles was trying very hard, and we send you love, Charles. We've been trying like isn't the nickname for Charles Dick? Would that be Dick Dickens?
What?
Yes, but anyway, we've been trying like the Dickens to get our eye meditations launched, and we keep on adding meditation after meditation after meditation. We do believe that this will be the week. This will be the week, the next 7 days, where we can get a soft launch.
Well, you've just announced it, so yes.
All right, this will be the week. We will have our eye meditations, including 5 straight days of free meditations for you, our audience, and more. Free meditations for you. Come on over to inspirenationshow.com. Sign up for a newsletter. You'll be one of the first to receive access to all of these great new meditations. We are very, very excited about it. Going to crank up the love, the peace, the bliss. We are going to help you to feel so much better. And all these meditations at the beginning are free. So sign up. And so we believe that's going to come about. And yes, the Pookie to my left,
it's
please.
Very important. Lori says, no, Dick is not a nickname for Charles.
What is then?
Maybe you're thinking of Dick Van Dyke.
No, I really am thinking about that. I'm going to do some Google. Lori, not that I doubt you, but I'm going to see where I went wrong after this is done. Dick is short for Richard. All right, Lori, thank you. I buy that. All right, so sign up at inspirenationshow.com and we will get you on the list to be one of the first to get our free meditations. Lastly, I am on a roll on our patron page. Is there something else?
Chuck.
Yes. Do I need to go put myself back in my corner?
There's a closer corner right there.
It's right by the candy. I got a bunch of candy at this event last night. I didn't actually eat any of it.
Yes.
Maybe I need to. So anyway, we've been on a roll on our patron site, which is where we give you behind the scenes information on the show, tips, the latest musings going on, not maybe but certainly us climbing mountains and all sorts of great stuff.
Do they want to see that?
I don't even want to see that.
I don't either.
So,
but I mean, the people who are on reality shows, do they want everything that ends up on TV?
Are we like the Jersey somethings? Because we did pit stop in Jersey for a little while. Now we're the Aspen. Anyway, come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/InspireNation. Come support the show. We're 100% supported by you, our audience, and we're giving you lots of tools, tips, fun stuff, fun photos. I've even got to get more daring on the videos and stuff that we're going to post. And I do believe I have another Mick Sandler video or two to
You do.
post. Did you just ask everybody if they want to see us fighting?
I'm just curious.
Nobody wants to see us fighting.
Maybe they want to see like the whole process, although we'd have to time lapse.
I think it would I just had this terrible image of us like Jello wrestling or something.
Such a guy thing.
Anyway, come and support the show. You can make a donation here on YouTube. I have no idea how to do it, but a lot of people have, so thank you. But you can come on over to patreon.com/InspireNation, become a member of the Backstage Pass family, and you'll get lots and lots of cool stuff. So we're going to try things differently here tonight. I have a whole list of things that I want to talk about, and Jessica said no.
I did.
Yes. Why did you say no?
I thought maybe you're a little boring on your own.
All right. And how are we going to do this that's not boring now?
Well, you wanted to talk about self-compassion. So tell me, what are you doing with your back?
What am I doing with my back? Well, each morning I've committed.
First of all, what besides the physical root cause of your back pain, what's the spiritual significance behind it?
Holding on. There can be holding on to anger, of which there's still more to get through from my earlier years. I get to do as much emotion code with me as I've started doing with you. And I, at the moment, this is no excuse, but I'm a little bit of the, instead of calling it a wounded healer, I call it the car mechanic healer.
Yeah.
And the running joke about an old car mechanic is they can make anybody else's car run like new, but they're not taking care of their own car.
Gotcha.
So I get to take better care of my car, metaphorically, which is interesting because the air conditioning did go out this week on 2 of our cars, not just one. Symbolically, of which we do need to contact the dealership because they expect us to be in Littleton tomorrow morning, which is not happening.
So this is hard because you get a little rambly and then my questions drop out of my head.
So you were asking about my back and what I was going to do about that, but you said first.
So I imagine when you're experiencing intense back pain, it's a little easier to get irritated, angry, upset. No?
No, this time it hasn't been. I mean, yes, usually pain will do that. In this case, I have hardwired pain to an action, and that action is get out of the seat, get stretching, get moving. So rather than when you get angry, to me, is when you don't know what to do about something. Although there can be a frustration with not being able to do, but I have linked it very strongly at back hurts, take action, back hurts, take action. However, what I really get to do is carve out more time to take action. For instance, I cut off my gym time each morning at 7 o'clock. That gives me time for a workout or stretching, not both. Last week, all I did was stretch all week. I didn't work out once.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I worked out yesterday. We had a late event last night. Didn't go this morning. Didn't get that stretching time in.
Mm-hmm.
You're mm-hmming me. What does that mean?
I'm listening.
To me, it sounds like you have something in there waiting to be said.
Well, I'm also scanning your chat window, which doesn't seem to be moving.
No, my chat window doesn't move, which is probably a good thing, or else I would get stuck trying to read things rather than speak. So, but yes, pain in general with me. Not pain in general with me. A lack of ability to have motion triggers that anger. So for instance, if I hurt my foot or my knee or something, or in this case, the back, to where it was limiting my ability to work out,
yeah,
then I would be a cranky mofo.
Okay.
So the back pain itself, though, is steering, is guidance. I can see it for what it is. And it's telling me to get busy with these things of taking better care of myself, which is hugely an act of self-love.
That's ironic. Get busy.
Taking care of myself.
Working. Do to take care of yourself.
Well, but there is a time for do.
That's true. Who said that? Amit Goswami?
Doobie-doo.
Yeah, you want to explain what that means?
So Doobie-doo is Amit Goswami is probably my all-time favorite. Well, him and Fred Allen Wolf. I love both of them. Fred's even harder to seatbelt in and hang on for the conversation. Both of them have been, Fred was in The Secret. I believe both Fred and Amit were in What the Bleep Do We Know?
Yeah.
He's one of the world's leading quantum physicists looking at the metaphysical side, the connection between quantum physics and spirituality. And he talks about doobie-doo, meaning that we don't want to stay in a state of just, well, in the Western world, we have a challenge of doing too much, pushing, striving, challenging ourselves. Well, challenge is good, but we've been taught since we were little kids, if we're not doing, then we're not good. If we're not working on our homework, working on our projects, working on this, working on that, working on our business, then we're, as my dad is afraid we'll become, lazy bums. I put that in quotes. I love you, Dad. It didn't come from him. It came from many generations ago. And so we have this effort of overdoing, which is what happened to my back. Conversely, we are afraid that if we stop and pause, that we're going to be those lazy bums. And so we have a hard time shifting to that being state. But when we get to that being state, we often feel much better, much lighter. Troubles sort of melt away. There was one of my topics I wanted to talk about tonight was imagining being a sea turtle and floating or flying through the water very gently, almost effortlessly. So I read about the albatross this week.
Yes. Albatross,
world's coolest bird next to the hummingbird. Why is it so cool?
Because it can circumnavigate the world.
It can circumnavigate the world in 45 days. How?
Gliding, mostly.
Doobie-doo. It glides, angles itself into the wind. That's the do. Dives down. That's part of the doing.
Yes.
Stretches its wings. Let the wind carry it up. That's the be part.
Yeah.
Dives again into the do. With almost no effort, can literally fly thousands of miles up to 3 times the speed of the wind. So it's not just gliding with the wind, by balancing the doing and the being.
You said they can even sleep.
They
while
can
flying.
Even sleep. I have no idea how this is possible.
They just hit the autopilot button?
I think, much better than Tesla. I love you, Tesla, but it is not ready for prime time. We got something today, a $3,000 upgrade offered to us for autopilot. But as far as I know, if I let go of that wheel, it's going to drive us right into a Jersey barrier at some point. So
I didn't know that. It's a $3,000 upgrade.
I thought it was going to be a $2,000 upgrade.
Okay.
But it's a $3,000, but they have to work on their emails like we do because it was offering us for $3,000 the exact thing that the car already has.
Right. I'm confused. All right. Anyway, we have a question from Books and Tech.
All right.
Who writes, what about the inner dialogue when we get to that point of questioning if we are doing enough?
So Books and Tech, it's a brilliant question. And our inner dialogue, all of us, I can't speak for you, everybody but the Pookie, our inner dialogue is completely insane. it is not actually our inner dialogue. It is dialogue from our ancestors, from our elders, from our parents, from well-meaning and not so well-meaning loved ones and mentors and teachers and guides. And we have, like Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements, talked about it. We build up a government in our mind that has rules, that has directive, that has a president, a Congress, a judge, a jury, even an executioner in our mind to uphold rules that are not our own. So when we start to catch ourselves going into negative thought, or I don't know if it was Napoleon Hill or Bob Proctor, I can't recall at this point, or going into our stinking thinking, then first off, we get to recognize or ask, whose is this? Because even when we think it's ours, okay, between you and me, cover your ears, Pookie. Cover your ears. Other ear. That's only one ear.
I can't type with.
I know. You. Between you and me. Thank you. A long time ago, I used to have negative thought that would say, please forgive me, I can't even believe I'm going to say this on air. You deserve to die, Michael. You are such a worthless POS. You have done nothing. You've gone nowhere. You blobbity, 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 that you don't even deserve to be here. And you can take your hands off now. If anybody said to me, whose is that? I would have gone, of course it's mine, because I can prove to you that I'm not worthy. I can prove it to you. But the fact of the matter is, the basis that I was judging myself on is others. Because at the end of the day, we are all divine beings having a human experience. Let me say that again. We are all divine beings having a human experience. What does that mean? We are all perfect, truly just as we are. But we've forgotten that. And if we get back to that inner voice, and that's why I'm always talking about automatic writing, and I'll make another shameless plug because I think it's the greatest tool in the world, automaticwriting.com. If we get to that inner voice and we tune into our highest self, we will find nothing but love for ourselves. And we will find there is no such thing as not doing enough. You could spend your entire life on the couch. And for some people with physical disabilities, that is their lot in life. And that still is enough. Just being is enough. Now, do we want to do more? Sure, why not? Consciousness is all about expansion and ever-growing consciousness, ever-growing expansion. What does that mean? It means we grow and learn by challenging ourselves. So why not challenge ourselves? But there are two ways you can do this. And I remember doing this in the gym as an experiment. I used to be a really big dude in the gym. In fact, I just got pictures this week. I found them from the storage unit just got emptied of me at over 200 pounds. I mean, I was the guy who scared other people in the gym.
How tall are you?
5'10".
Yes.
So I was a big dude. So to put it in perspective, I'm not 150 now. I made it to 150 last week before we had the downhill slide. Now I'm about 146, 147, although I look good and strong. I like it. So going back to 200 pounds, going back to standing strong, I have been completely derailed. Self-love, standing strong, 200 pounds. I lost my train of thought. This is rare. Where was I going with that? Self-talk, negative self-talk, picking on myself. Not being enough. There is no such thing as enough. I do know that at one point, this is going to completely tangent ourselves, but what the heck? I do remember at one point, those negative voices got the better of me. I tried to roll a car. Thank God for BMW ABS. Saved my life. Absolutely saved my life.
Do you think subconsciously you knew about the BMW ABS? because you're kind of a car nut.
I think subconsciously, if I had really wanted to take myself out, I would have taken myself out. But I had such a voice inside of me, an inner critic inside of me that says you're not enough and nothing you could do could ever make you be enough. You will never be enough. And what I had to learn, spiritual being having a human experience. I had to learn that we are all enough. We truly all are enough. Yes, we can do more. Yes, we can expand. Yes, we can challenge ourselves. That's where we learn the most. But like the 4 seasons on the planet or a 28-day cycle, not just for women, but for men as well, there is a time to sow. There's a time to water. There's a time to plant. There's a time to recover. And we have to allow for those ebbs and flows. If you're in your winter where you're drawing in your water and you're recharging your system, it's absolutely the worst thing that you can do is to try to push yourself to be out there. Instead, you must allow yourself and love yourself. I can feel that smirk, Pookie. I can feel it from here. Where are you going with things?
Well, A Portrait in Flesh said that they made a name change because you gave them trouble for some name that was a Seinfeld reference that you thought was negative.
I do remember this.
I don't remember what the name was.
I don't remember what it was.
I remember that interaction.
So, very cool, A Portrait in Flesh. So, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that if you want to do more, be more, and achieve more, and you don't have to do that to be loved, but if you want to do that, I finally remember the lifting piece. If you want to do more, be more, and achieve more, the most important thing you can do is love yourself up. So when I used to be at the gym, not many times, I did an experiment. And let's say I was pushing a ton of weights, not quite literally, though I came very close. But you were to say, come on, you, whatever they used to say in the army, you lowly maggot piece of da-da-da-da-da-da, lift that weight. And you'd see how much weight you could lift. And then if you said, I love you, you can do this, you're the greatest, you're the strongest. And all the guys, or maybe gals too, are looking at the gym as if you're a doo-doo. You go and lift the weight. And guess what? You lift more. It's the whole muscle testing thing. You put out your arm, and if you insult yourself, the arm goes straight down. Yeah. And if you tell yourself you love yourself, you can hold it straight up. You can do that test at home. So there is a power in loving yourself that does not exist when we do the old, let's push ourselves, punish ourselves, hurt ourselves, which is what we've been taught in many ways by a dysfunctional society to do to help us keep going forward. So I've been rambling for quite a while. And we wanted to have more interaction tonight. So is there another question that you want to ask me? You're still on Seinfeld.
Well, no. Ozark Oracle said, I gave my dog a Seinfeld name just so I could say Newman in that tone of voice.
I like it. And one of my favorite things from Seinfeld is Costanza's opposites. So George Costanza, everything's going wrong for him. Can't get the girl, can't get the job, can't get the money. He decided to do the opposite of everything that the little voice in his head would tell him to do. And he ended up getting a job with the Yankees, met with George Steinbrenner, got the money, got the girl, all by not listening basically to that negative inner critic, but instead doing the exact opposite of what the inner critic told him to do.
Didn't Matt Kahn have some similar advice? Yeah, not about the inner critic, but...
Matt Kahn and I, we really riffed on this together. And we both agreed that one of the greatest things that we can do to tame the ego or to let go of that inner critic is to do one thing, at least one thing a day, differently than we've ever done before. And challenge yourself each and every day to do one thing differently. Now, my eye is catching the kombucha next to you, the hard kombucha.
Yeah.
That would be doing one thing differently.
Yeah, because I don't ordinarily drink alcohol.
Oh my God, it's a shameless product placement. I can't believe we just did that.
Well, they sent it to us for free, so I guess it worked. I guess it's kind of like drinking a wine cooler.
So if you do things each day a little differently or one thing differently, you start to get out of your paradigm, out of your fishbowl, see the world differently. And you start to grow your confidence muscles because you find like, oh, I have no idea where that road over there goes. You take it and you survive, literally. We're afraid, oh, I don't know what's going to happen if I take that road. You take it, you survive, you get a little bit stronger. Ooh, I don't know what will happen if I cook this food. You make it, you eat it, you get a little bit stronger, or hopefully not too sick to the stomach. We just had a whole doorbell security system come in that I am going to set up. Yes, me, the one who you still challenge with the smartphone to no end, will set this thing up. I taught myself the email software today.
And you know what I learned is I'm supposed to step back and let you set it up yourself.
So I can feel very manly.
Exactly.
Very good.
Even though I could step in and cut the process in half.
So, well, if you smell smoke coming by the front door.
You shouldn't be working with wiring.
Thank you. Again, if you smell smoke, please feel free to step in, bring a fire extinguisher fast. The point is, if you get out of your comfort zone and you do things differently, the grip that your ego has, the attachment, the I am not good enough, I am not worthy starts to go away. Does it completely go away? No. I believe it may be there for a lifetime on some level. I know for the show, we have radically let go of our perfectionist tendencies. And yet at the same time, my mind will still boomerang back any chance it can to tell me what's wrong. The best I can do is not go there. So I think I was mentioning earlier, I was given a mantra recently in automatic writing to help me with this. And I have been using that mantra so much, I think very successfully over the last few weeks, which is, I am loved, I am good, I am special. I am loved, I am good, I am special. And so when you come back from an auction and you go, why didn't I blah, 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 blah. I am loved, I am good, I am special. When you go to bed and you find that you couldn't possibly have answered that 10,000 emails that you got in the show today from the 200,000 plus people who are watching, I am good, I am loved, I am good, I am special. I am loved, I am good, I am special. And repeating a mantra to you. I was doing a meal QAs before that, which is every day in every way, I am getting better and better. And I switched to this. I asked automatic writing where to go to. What automatic writing recommended was this mantra and checking in with automatic writing more frequently. The Emil QA one seemed almost razor thin close to saying that every day in every way I need to try to get better and better. Mm-hmm. And so I shifted from that to something even kinder, even more.
You did a Yoda move and said, don't try, just do.
Oh, I like it. There is no try. Only do. I don't think that would be my next job. All right. Do we have another question?
Yes. Dr. Lisa asks, where to start if you are in a lousy mood?
Chocolate.
What if it's late at night and you don't want to eat chocolate because you're afraid the caffeine is going to keep you awake? Which is true.
Elisa, I would go to a some sort of putting a crowbar or monkey in the wheel. Find some way to shift gears. So yes, you can go to a mantra, but if it was me, if I'm feeling lousy late at night, I'm going to get up and pee. Why? Because I'm going to get myself out of bed and I'm going to get myself moving, and to get myself moving is going to get the energy flowing. And when the energy is flowing, I start to see things differently. Then maybe it's going to just a heart massage, something they talk about with heart coherence, heart math, and Howard Martin. I love myself. I love myself. Maybe it is going to a mantra, or maybe it's turning on the light and doing a brain dump right there and then, or going to prayer. There's so many different options here, Lisa, which would be, my prayer would be, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, higher self, higher team, all angels, God, and light workers here for my highest good and highest good of all. Please help me get unstuck. Please help me to move past these negative thoughts. Of course, you could certainly go to my all-time favorite prayer, Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian prayer for forgiveness for yourself. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. These would be the main things that I would do. Now, you could certainly flip on the light. You could grab your journal and you could do an ego dump and write out all of the negative thoughts that are in your mind. But maybe the simplest answer is you go, you pee, you come back to bed, and either just go to the breath for a minute or two, or just put in a real positive mantra to fall asleep. So it could be, I'll wake rested and refreshed. I'll wake rested and refreshed. And simply bypass till morning. Spiritual bypass, maybe. But bypass till morning what is on your mind. And then get it down and write about it. Go to automatic writing and say, I had a really bad evening last night. What was going on? What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I either prevent this from happening again? Or when I get in that negative place, how can I shift gears more easily? Now, I realize this is about 10 different things you can try, and I would start with only one and see where it gets you. Going back to tonight's topic, the most important thing isn't to go, I'm a coach. I have a higher standard for myself. I'm a speaker. I should blah, 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 blah. I've had an NDE. I should blah, blah, blah. I'm a father. I'm a mother. I should blah, blah, blah. And instead, not create a feedback loop of self-judgment towards yourself. Yes, that's redundant. But instead, love yourself up. Be okay with that. See, on this show, I have never said, and Jessica would never let me get away with it, I'm perfect. Look at what I do. Far from it. My wiring needs just as much work as anybody else's. And it is an absolute miracle that Jessica has hung in there with me, because my wiring is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hopefully today it's more da-da-da-da-da-da-da, versus when we first met where it was da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Actually, it was da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
With that said, though, we all have these challenges. And if we can recognize them as such and love ourselves up, even in the middle of them, we realize they are our greatest teachers. They will continuously challenge us if we allow them to help us to improve. Again, we go back to do. Be with it. Love yourself up. Be with yourself. Love yourself without judgment. And then when you're feeling better or when you can shift, then go back to a doing place and go, how do I prevent this from happening again? How do I help get myself into a happier state easier? What caused this? And that's a great question, Elisa. What is the trigger? What was the inception point? And is there a way to nip it in the bud earlier? Because as Jessica used to challenge me a lot with, still probably does, she would ask me the most important question. I won't even put you on the spot by saying what's the most important question. She would say, because she's going to be,
what are you getting out of this?
Holy Moses, you knew exactly where I was going.
Yeah, because I think I asked you last week.
Because we all are addicted to the dark side once it comes up. We feel like we get energized. It's why we watch, again, zombie movies, killer movies, news, all these things. We get energized by the negative.
Why? Why are we addicted to things that hurt?
I had a talk with Dr. Rick Hansen about this. And so there are a few different pieces. First off, there's a chemical response, which is we get a dopamine rush out of the negative. It's something scary, like a roller coaster ride. So that fear actually feels good. It makes us feel alive. It's why we thrill seek or hurtle ourselves off cliffs, down mountains, any of this stuff, because there is this feeling of aliveness. That's one component, is that chemical component. There's also a component of relief. Almost like a love drug that we get out of the negativity. What do you mean by that?
Oh, because it feels so familiar?
Familiar and safe. Because if I'm going, so the difference I was told recently was brilliant between anxiety and fear is a known danger. Anxiety is ambiguous. And that scares us more than anything. The ultimate fear, as at Churchill, is fear itself. When we don't know what to be afraid of, we just feel really bad. I feel really scared. I don't know what's going on. That tears us up on the inside. If instead we watch a zombie movie, a killer movie, or the two of us have a fight, you actually feel a sense of relief because now you can say, that's what I'm afraid of. And you have identified the saber-toothed tiger, and the body goes, oh, good, fine. It's why I end up, not so much anymore, used to watch storms or this or that, because I could say, oh, I'm better. I don't watch those horror movies. No, I watched calamities. And that was my game. That was my bag, baby. It did the same thing. It's why I will not profit off of watching a car accident or something like that. I will send love and I won't even watch it because I know I'm going to get a chemical response out of it. It's why everybody slows down to watch car accidents, is we're actually getting a positive chemical response by seeing what happened, by seeing the tiger. And we create feedback loops because as you watch the tiger, you drive right into it. You create a problem and then the person behind you is watching you and they create a problem. And so we have to find a way to stop or break that cycle.
Okay. So there are a couple questions that came up while you were talking.
Right.
And I'm going to go to the ones that seem to relate the most right now. I'll try to get to everybody's.
After you ask the first question, would you mind grabbing me the water behind me? Because...
Behind you.
Behind you.
Behind me.
Yes. I think I did say behind me, which would have been very... You could do it after you ask. Because I'm not going to the hard kombucha or hard anything. We learned about wine. Sommelier? Sommelier. We learned about tasting wine last night, and I had the tiniest little swig. Oh, it was terrible. But that's like the most I've had all year.
It was terrible, but it was a great sample for learning.
It was perfect.
Okay.
Kanpai.
So earlier, Rouge Red and I were having a discussion in the chat room. And she mentioned that she has trouble accepting compliments. I asked why, and she said she wasn't sure, that maybe she just doesn't believe it's true. Like if somebody tells her that she's beautiful. So what advice do you have for someone to start rewiring their mind so that they can accept compliments and believe them and really, integrate them,
embody them. So this is a challenge with receiving, and my guess is if you're having trouble with accepting compliments, you're having trouble with accepting gifts. You're having trouble accepting financial remuneration as well. It affects all ability to accept that energy. I'm going to go to a guest we had, I think, like 3.5 years ago on the show, and we only had him on audio. I think he was only on the telephone. Which was a monk. I believe he taught in Australia. I don't remember if he's Thai or where.
And I mentioned, he says, thank you, I deserve that, when he receives a compliment.
Yes, this is Ajahn Brahm.
Great, you got it.
Who wrote the book, Don't Worry, Be Grumpy. And he would say, thank you, I deserve that. And that completely short circuits the wiring system. Now, if I was to coach you, what I would probably find is that you have emotional wounds and blocks. And when I coach, I don't do counseling or anything of the sort. I don't have you kick your legs up and say, tell me about your childhood. But I can find these energetic wounds and blocks. And chances are I'd find that from your earliest days, you were taught not to brag, not to boast, to be quiet, to be small, not to stick your neck out. And to remember, as the Asian expression goes, you don't want to be the tallest nail because the tallest nail gets hammered down. And so you want to be humble, you want to be modest. And I say hogwash to all of that. You want to express your greatness. You want to express your grandness. You want to express the divinity, the divine that is within and is a part of each and every one of us so that you can shine the brightest you can. And when you shine bright, you are not making anybody else shine less. You are shining your light on them as well. So you accept that compliment. You embody that compliment. You be that compliment. And you use your God-given, source-given, inner wisdom-given gifts to your maximum, unashamed, unembarrassed. And yes, this will mean going to tapping, going to emotion code, going to journaling, going to automatic writing, throwing the kitchen sink at this so you can truly embody it. But it can all start with thank you, I deserve it. And when you first say that, you will probably wrinkle up in the face like a prune and go, oh my God, and you will try to apologize. How much, I'm not that way anymore. Do you remember how apologetic I used to be?
Yes. I remember when you first started coaching and one of your coaching clients asked you how much you wanted to charge coaching her and several other family members. And she held up a credit card on Skype and you wouldn't look at it. You looked away.
What was I thinking? Now I would say, thank you very much. How many zeros should I add? And don't be embarrassed about that. So this whole poverty consciousness of, oh no, money's the root of all evil. I can't have money and I should. No. Fair reciprocation of energy. It's all an energy exchange. Ask for what you're worth and then tack on more to it. Why is that? Because chances are you have been trained and taught that you are worth this much when you're really worth this much. And I know the more that you charge, if you're in a service industry, the more that you charge, the better the results. Crazy, but true. Mm-hmm. And so you must ask for what you're worth, and you must not apologize for it. Michael, you really helped save my life, change my life, my life. And I'll be, oh, no, I didn't really do anything. I'm just, no, have nothing to do with it. That's just, who wants to work with somebody like that?
So I don't know if Rouge Red actually has an abundance issue. Mm-hmm. She just mentioned that she thinks it stems from bullying in school. And since you experienced bullying as well.
I did experience bullying. And my first thought when you said that is me locked in a locker. So yes, well, small equals safe is what you think when you're being bullied. But the thing is actually, and the irony here is I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. But small to a bully gets you picked on even more. Because a bully will not stand up to somebody who stands up for themselves. And that doesn't mean fighting. That means standing strong in yourself. And so basically, Rouge Red, you and I have both been bullied twice. You were bullied once in school or in work, and now you're bullied by your mind. And so we get to let the bully go. And that can be from all of the different things that I've talked about here. And I didn't catch almost anything that you've written here, but I said it's just stuck. And so you want to get that energy flowing. One is going to tapping. So I love myself. Come up with the most negative phrase you can. Positive and negative together cancel each other out. I love myself completely and fully, even though I feel unworthy of accepting compliments or accepting praise. And you go on 8 different points. That's point number 1. And you repeat that 3 or 4 or 5 times in your head. Then you go to your next point. I love myself completely and fully, even though I feel completely unable of accepting praise. And then you go to the next point. You'd repeat it 3 or 4 times first. I love myself completely and fully, even though I feel completely unable to accept praise. I'm going to paraphrase here. I love myself completely and fully. 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 And you do 1 or 2 rounds. And I recommend going slowly and tapping on each point 3, 4, 5 times, maybe even more. If you feel yourself going to cry, great. Let's pop. Let's short that out. Basically, you're looking for the most negative phrase you can do. Always rank it before you begin. 0 to 10. 0, no charge. 10, the most charged in the world. You can barely even stand to say it. You want to go for those 10s. And then you want to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until you can get yourself to cry or pop. In other words, get unstuck. Get that emotion moving. And you're doing that while tapping on acupressure points. And Dr. Elisa, I was thinking about it tonight. I was wondering if you can actually do acupuncture while doing some sort of an EFT technique with people, because you're going right into their nervous system and actually help people to pop. It was something that occurred to me tonight when I was working on different EFT techniques that made me think of acupuncture and what can we do with it? But what you can do is you can help get that energy unstuck. Then after you do a round or two of the negative till you get it down to like a 2 or a 3, then at that point, I would always replace it with a positive. Nature abhors a vacuum. What does that mean? It means if you clear out the negative, we sure as heck want to replace it with something positive. So what I like to do is, so let's say you've just finished a round of tapping that I'm completely unable to accept praise. Afterwards, I would do something incredibly positive like, I am loved. I am special. I feel great about myself. I am supported. I am surrounded by love and angels. I'm a great person. It feels difficult, but I'm a great person. I am a great person. I'm a great person. I'm feeling better and better about myself. I'm able to accept praise. I welcome praise. I thrive on praise. I am fueled by genuine praise. I'm feeling better and better about myself each day. I'm feeling the love from within. I'm feeling the love from others. I deserve praise. I deserve loves. I deserve all the most amazing gifts that are coming to me. I am loved. I am love. I come from love. I send out love. I'm willing to receive love. I am special. I am great. I am free. I am free. I am free. Woohoo! And replace those negatives with a positive. Excellent question. Is it rouge red?
Yes.
Got time for a few more questions.
Okay. Cynthia asked a really interesting question. She asked if we believed in ghosts, and I mentioned that. Well, okay, let me say a little bit more about what she shared.
All right.
She said that sometimes she feels like a gentle touch or warmth, like there was a presence comforting her. And I'm totally paraphrasing. Hopefully I'm getting the gist of it because it was a while back. And I said, and she said, maybe it's a loved one that's crossed over. And I said, it could be a guardian angel. And she said, she prefers angel over ghost. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
All right, I'm going to dive into my thoughts. And could I trouble you, please,
Sure.
for some more water? So my thoughts, yes, absolutely. Ghosts, angels, guardians, the works. The only thing that I would say, and I do work at this point. I don't even know how I got into it, but I do work in helping people with energetic releases. I don't know if I want to call them exorcisms, but when we have an energy that is stuck to us, something that people might call entities. I am somebody who does not believe in the negative. I do believe that everything comes in balance, but I think it is all here for our growth, for the expansion of consciousness, and all here for good, or you could say for God. There's a reason those words are so similar, and I'm not talking a bearded white man in the sky here. I'm talking the love that is all of us. Do I believe that there are beings here with us at each and every moment? Absolutely. In fact, one of them hit the paddle on my hand last night when I was bidding or not bidding. And I thought that was especially interesting. You want to see something interesting?
This is Lumi.
Lumi is making a cameo appearance, which means
rare.
Our energy must be like over the top good right now. So with that said, let's talk about ghosts and let's talk about spirits here. I believe that we are always surrounded by love, whether it is our loved ones who've crossed over, whether it's angels, whether it's guardians, whether it's ancestors, whether it's elders, whether it's those of the land on which we stand and from which we come from. We are surrounded by level after level after level after level of goodness, of beings here waiting to help us at each and every moment if we had only ask for that assistance. They're always here, always waiting to help. Now, with that said, do we have guardian angels? My guess is yes. I'm always going to archangels Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. That's who I feel called to. And a lot of my teachings, I have people start there, but then branch out. If you think of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, think of it as a very linear book. It's anything but that. He talks about having a whole boardroom of guides, including Lincoln, including Washington, and the list goes on and on. I believe if somebody or something came to us in a dream, it may be a positive guide. Somebody came to us in ceremony, it can be a positive guide. If we just feel, who's got a Shakti? It may be somebody who's by our side as well. Now let's talk about the flip side of that. People talk about, I may have an entity or something that's clinging on to me, or a dark energy, or is there another way that you would put it?
I like that you're saying dark energy, because it's not, I don't like to think of it as like a being.
So I think
that sounds scary to people.
I like how you're putting it. I think it's all energy. We are all energy. And I like to think of it as, well, when we drive down the road beneath our house, sometimes there are, you call them P. Diddies, little prairie dogs that have gotten hit by a car.
P. Diddy.
And when a P. Diddy has gotten hit by a car, that shocks it so much that, and we've met people who can see these spirits, the spirit may not have transitioned to where it belongs. And I believe that these lost souls or spirits, they're not harmful. They're not trying to harm anyone or anything, are looking for a place to hang their hat because they're lost. And when we are down, when we are miserable, when we are intoxicated, on drugs, sometimes actually in ceremony, which is why if you're going to play around with things like ayahuasca, do it with a very well-trained shaman who can take care of you and guide you and make sure things don't attach to you. Or if you're simply sad and depressed, things can latch on because they're lost and are looking for an easy host or home. But even if you hear voices in your head saying, heaven forbid, jump off this bridge, throw yourself in front of a car, drink, do this addictive thing that's going to ruin your life, your relationship, otherwise, they're still not trying. They're not evil. They're not bad. They're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to protect themselves on their journey because they are wounded and challenged themselves. And so whenever I do clearing work, which I never expected to do, and I was told it's scary, it's dangerous, it's this and that. First off, I give it to the angels. I don't do it myself, so to speak. But and I do not come from a place of cockiness. It's energy doing energy work. But I'm always coming from a place of kindness and compassion. Whatever energy may be stuck in you, with you, in your home. And think about it. We've experienced a haunted home, particularly in Maui.
Yeah.
Things that go bump and crash in the night.
But our energy was already low to begin with during that time period of our lives. And I believe we attracted that. Mm-hmm.
And maybe that energy was even helping to send us home to say, not yours to stay here anymore, because that's where the black mold was.
Yep.
And in particular, the room that felt the worst was probably where the black mold was the worst.
The bathroom that we never used?
Yeah, because remember, it would grow these huge black things on the walls. So everything is here to steer you. Everything is here to steer you. So hopefully that covered it. Ghosts 101, it's all positive energy. Some of it lost, some of it misguided, some of it needing a way home. But it's all here to serve us. And I call in angels, guides, light workers, light beings, whatever we want to call it. I don't pretend to have the answer as to exactly what it is. I call in this positive energy each and every day for all of the work I do. And for this session right here, I've called in assistance. Mm-hmm. And I guess the best thing we can do, and we talked last week a little bit about enlightenment. One of the definitions we can come up with enlightenment is to remember who we are in each and every moment. And by that, I mean that we are energy, that we are source energy, a piece of source, maybe not the whole source, but that we come from the light and we are the light, and that we can call in the light and call in that loving energy each and every moment. And if we can live in that space of not forgetting who and what we are, I believe that could be one powerful definition of enlightenment. I'll let you know when I get there.
Okay.
That was a joke.
There was a question about mantras. What are some of your favorite mantras?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. My mantras keep changing over time. So right now it is loved, good, special. Loved, good, special. For sleep, it is rested and refreshed. Throughout the day, it is always asking for guidance, kind, gentle, easy, good. Kind, gentle, easy, good. Because I used to ask for guidance in a very young, what was it George Bush said for the first Iraqi war? Maybe there's a second one, which was,
We'll smoke them out of their holes.
Oh. I was gonna bring it on, and that just makes me want to put a helmet on.
No. I think that's what you said before you incarnated. Yeah, that's what you told your counsel.
Oh gosh, yes, this is true, or so I'm told from a past life regression. If I'm completely wound up, I will go and take a shower and say Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. And I don't even know exactly what it means. I've Googled it before. I did know, then I forgot, then I did know, and then I forgot. But what's interesting is sort of like what I understand about taking a pilgrimage, like on a road that's been traveled on by thousands and thousands of pilgrims or millions of pilgrims, like the Camino in Spain. There's an energy to a road, there's an energy to a trail, there's an energy to, standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon, there's an energy to a mantra or a phrase like Om Mani Padme Hum, which has been said millions of times before, that can make us feel special, at peace, loved, even if we don't know exactly what it means. Now, with that said, we once went to, for a few months, Tibetan teachings and Tibetan chantings, and that actually didn't resonate with me. Not picking on Tibetan, but you will find some work for you, some didn't. Did that work for you?
No, it didn't. And, I think at the time I wanted to understand what the chants were. My understanding, though, is that you don't need to. It's that the sounds have a resonance that is supposed to be healing.
So we may have been grabbing on too much with our head instead of allowing into the heart. I'll buy that. Do you have any phrases or mantras that you like?
I just typed mine. It's really simple. When I'm laying in bed waiting to fall asleep, I put one hand or two hands over my heart, and I just keep repeating, I love myself until I'm asleep.
That is one of my favorites too. I didn't know that you do that.
Yeah.
But I'm known for going, I love myself. I love myself. This looks so funny. So real brief story, then maybe time for one last question is, so get your question in now. Years ago, well before Pookie came into my life, when I told myself I love myself and was trying to get my mind past my negative self-talk, which said that you're a piece of doo-doo, I was in my bathroom of a home that I owned, and I grabbed the shower, I'm going to stutter, the shower curtain rod, and I told myself I love myself. I grabbed the rod and I smashed the mirror, and
the story's changed. There was no curtain rod before. Before it was just you and the mirror and a broken mirror.
Well, how would you break a mirror?
I never really thought about it.
There was no blood. No, I didn't go pound on the mirror. I smashed that mirror. And then maybe it was a year later that my dad and my sister had come to visit, and I had this beautiful little microwave from my dad, of which I had a little with my sister about, do you deserve to get the nicest microwave or not? It was very interesting.
She was questioning whether you deserved.
My dad wanted to buy me a microwave, and I wanted the microwave that had the auto cook features on it, because, well, we know about me, I want as easy as possible. And she said, that's taking advantage of your dad's money. So, and I'm like,
I guess microwaves are more expensive back then.
It really wasn't that much. It was a tiny, smallest microwave, not much bigger than this laptop here. And we had our karma to work out, and it had to get to, do I love myself enough? And I felt guilty. She made me feel guilty, which was the MO of my family.
Yeah.
But I still asked for that nicer microwave. And then about a year later, when I was trying the I love myself exercise, when my mind was going nuts, I ended up taking the microwave because it was such a precious gift to me, and my ego wanted to hurt me. And I smashed it into the kitchen floor, of which I think I had just redone the kitchen floor.
That's really sad.
It was.
Does that have to do with your parents taking away birthday presents and taking away other prized?
If so, it was me
possessions?
Perpetuating that pattern. Right. And I felt really, really sad about it afterwards. And I had to redo the kitchen floor, and I really tried to get into a practice after that of loving myself up. And it took years. I really enjoy Kamal Ravikant's book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. I do believe in that, both from a personal perspective, if you want to keep yourself healthy and keep yourself going, but also, I look at a lot of people in the news today, and whether it's a shooting in El Paso, whether it's a guy in a big white house, who I send love to everybody. I'm completely apolitical because we're all one. It's like, I'm not going to go criticize one hand and say only my other hand is good. And it's just nuts to me. But we all have these woundings and negative messages inside of us that, if we can love ourselves up and start to move past them, we can heal the world. We can truly heal the world. And if we don't do that, then we're continuously lashing out at others. But, pick on anybody you want in the news, or anybody who's done any shooting, killing, anything. The person who's most wounded, it doesn't seem that way, but we're all spirit, we're all energy, is in many ways the one on the inside. And that's where that's coming from. The lashing out is just a representation of what's going on in here. And I don't want to say that take anything away from anybody who's lost their lives. Tragedy is tragedy. Loss is loss. It's horrific. But when you see somebody lashing out, we've got to give them as much love and kindness and compassion in the world, because they need it more than anything else, because they don't have it for themselves. And that's the most important thing in the world. And if you can take anything away tonight, it is to start loving up yourself like there's no tomorrow. That alone will change the world. That, if enough people really truly start to love themselves up, I can see this wave of energy going around the whole planet. I can see the planet like an electron raising to the next level, just because of the energetic shift from that alone. Which is why this topic is so important, and why challenging yourself, like a Matt Kahn, challenging yourself each day to do something differently, like a Tony Robbins, challenging yourself to be 1% better each day or each week. I challenge you in your do period, in between the doobie-doobie-doos, to see what you can, to just keep loving yourself up and loving yourself up. And if you need to, tape the mirror, step away from the microwave.
Well, one reason why I like doing the I love myself mantra while I'm laying in bed is that I'm in a hypnagogic state when I'm starting to fall asleep, and it's more likely to actually get into my subconscious and make changes.
I couldn't agree more. Tapping does it. Being half awake does it. You have somebody like a Salvador Dali, who all of his work, which looks like, melted dream state, he would hold on to like keys or a spoon in his hand, lightly so, and just stay there kind of half awake, sitting, and he would have like a bowl beneath him. And when he got really tired, he'd drop the keys, ding.
Yeah. And when you're really tired, you have less resistance.
So true. The trick is you have less resistance, so it's a great place to put things in.
Positive things.
Positive. But it's also a great place to find out, you don't like me using this term, maybe we can put another term in there, what your wiring challenges are, because in that half-awake state, they also become even bigger. And so it's a great place to exercise those things, to be going to sleep and to You could even have a notepad next to yourself. And when a negative thought comes up, jot it down. And when you wake up the next day, say, oh, this is something I get to work on, because it can be a magnifier as well. It's why I keep repeating, and I have been challenged this summer with all of our doings and not doings. Each evening, I've been working to identify those things and then go to a healing place, because those small shadows in the daytime seem like giant dinosaurs at night. Any last things you want to add before we wrap things up?
I just know that when I'm at peace with myself, I'm more available to be present for others. And so I love what you were saying earlier about how it's so important in order to heal the planet. It really, really does start with healing ourselves.
Yeah. It's why, sometimes there are movements, beautiful movements, that end up crossing over to the dark side and going to a place of anger. And I think at those points, anger begets anger. We need to step back, pause. Don't worry, the challenge isn't going anywhere. Work on our hearts before we step back in. It's why Mother Teresa said, if you are against anything, don't call me. But if you have a rally for something, for love, for peace, I will be there. Woohoo. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. We love you. We love you. We love you. Again, if you want coaching from me and you want a free one-on-one strategy session specifically to see if coaching is right for you, come on over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching. And if you don't get an email from us right away, check your spam folder. Check your spam folder. Check your spam folder. Check your spam folder. And come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/Inspire Nation. Become a member of the Inspire Nation family. You are already a member of the Inspire Nation family. I'm doing this to the chat window here because I see you're all family. You're all ohana, as they say in Hawaiian. You are all part of the family. So make yourself an official part of the family. You'll get lots of behind the scenes info, tips, tools, fun photos, fun videos. And for a very, very, very small amount, you will help support us, help feed the kitties, and help keep the show going strong. So we send all our love your way. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have the most magnificent week ahead. And do this with me just 3 times. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. Shine bright. Woohoo! I love you, Pookie.
Love you too.